Okay, so today is the one of the videos, one video usually in a month where we just look at stories. And the purpose for this is just to say stories that are maybe a little more engaging and but still contains some lessons in it that we can all apply for life. And I found something interesting to share with us today in one of my readings. And the story today is going to be Wiggle's hilarious Ho'oponopono adventure. Uh, so last month, the story we looked at was Wiggle's struggle with alcohol. And today is Wiggle again, but with a different story. And today it's about Wiggle's hilarious Ho'oponopono adventure. The spelling of Ho'oponopono is H-O apostrophe O-P-O-N-O-P-O-N-O. Ho'oponopono is a practice in some part of the world, which I'm going to give us a few more details about later in this video. So Wiggle, what happened? So Wiggle had a big problem, which is the big grudge against his toaster. Toaster meaning that small machine that makes toast bread. And it was a gigantic, unforgivable, soul-crushing grudge that Wiggle had against his toaster. Yes, his toaster. Every morning without fail, typically most people toast bread in the morning just to have breakfast. The toaster always burned Wiggle's bread. So Wiggle had bread to toast every morning, and the toaster always burned his bread. From the part of the world where I come from, toaster might mean something different. So I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. And maybe it's the same here, so I don't know. But I know growing up, when they say somebody's toasting you, it means maybe a boy is trying to ask a girl out. But that's not the toaster we are talking about here. We're talking about the toaster that makes bread. So Wiggle was convinced that the toaster was conspiring against him. Very convinced. Kind of like paranoid. We say it in psychiatry. Paranoid meaning you believe something is though not true, but you believe maybe you are being followed by somebody, like maybe the police is following you when nobody is following you and things like that. That's paranoia. So kind of like Wiggle has some paranoia about the toaster, that maybe the toaster is conspiring against him. But it's bigger than the toaster. This wasn't just about the toast of the bread now. Oh no, it was about real life. So what was the real life issues that Wiggle was going through this time? His boss was not appreciating him. So Wiggle has a lot of grudges against his boss at work. Gigantic, unforgivable, soul-crushing grudge against his boss. Wiggle's neighbor's cat looked at her in a funny way. Again, like I said, looks a little bit like being paranoid, or kind of like delusions too, because like delusions of reference to us, meaning that you might be watching TV and not say anything about it, but you believe they are talking directly to you. It's a psych symptom. So he believes the cat of our neighbor was looking at her in a funny way. Of course, we all know you don't think a cat looks at anybody in a funny way. So, we just had all of this going on in his life, and everything was just not working well for her. So, including the toaster machine at home, including the boss at work, including the cat of the neighbor, all of them just seem not to be doing good for Wiggle. And he has this gigantic, unforgivable, soul-crushing grudges against the toaster, against his boss at work, and also against the cat of the neighbor. So what happened? So all this grudge was going on. Wiggle unhappy, but one day Wiggle stumbled on something on YouTube about Ho'oponopono, H-O-O-P-O-N-O-N-O. And is an Hawaiian practice in Hawaii, for those, shout out to those from Hawaii, of healing through forgiveness. The speaker said 4 magical phrases could clear negativity and restore peace. Restoration of peace in the life of someone that has a lot of grudge against people. And the 4 phrases are: I'm sorry, Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Those are the 4 magic phrases from Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And this reminds me of, I remember we used to watch when our kids were small. We used to watch these kids, Barney, and I used to say there are 2 magic words: please and thank you. Please and thank you, which kind of are here. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So those are the 4 magic phrases about Ho'oponopono that we could find out. So hearing about Ho'oponopono and the 4 magic words, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, it brought the memory of the toaster that was always ruining Wiggles bread every morning. To say, this war is about to start right now. So, but instead of rage and allowing the war to come, Wiggle decided to try a different approach. And this is Ho'oponopono in action right now. He said, I'm sorry, toaster. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. So those 4 magic words. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And this was Ho'oponopono in action. Wiggle saying it to his toaster. Initially, nothing happened, but bam, the next toast for the bread was great, and the bread was no longer burnt after Wiggles tried the Ho'oponopono 4 magic words. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And those 4 words did the magic. So Wiggle decided, if this worked for my toaster, then I'm also going to try it for my boss and for my co-workers at my job, using the Ho'oponopono principle. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So he decided to try those 4 words on colleagues at work. So when Wiggles tried it on an annoying co-worker, it worked, boom, just like it did for the toaster too. And the next day, the co-worker brought in a donut for Wiggles instead of an attitude, which was usually the norm from the past. I'm sorry, Wiggle, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So those 4 words from Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian principle, seemed to changed everything in the life of Wiggles. Suddenly, Wiggles felt lighter. Looked like the weight that Wiggles was carrying was lifted off him. Using this ancient act of Ho'oponopono from Hawaii, and tried it on the toaster, it worked. Tried it on the co-worker, it worked. The 4 phrases appear to be working like magic. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Those 4 phrases from Ho'oponopono. I love the word. So from that day on, Wiggles used Ho'oponopono for everything. He used it for his coffee maker, he used it for the toaster, he used it for colleagues at work, he used it for bosses, he used it for landlords, he used it for everybody. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And Ho'oponopono's the big weights seemed to have lifted. So the lesson learned from Ho'oponopono is forgiveness is magic. It's an ancient principle from the Hawaiian culture. So how can Ho'oponopono change your life? By embracing Ho'oponopono, it can heal relationship, like we saw in the case of Wiggles stories. His relationship with humans and even non-humans, his toaster, his coffee maker, everything got better when he practiced forgiveness. Please forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you. And it can also enhance well-being when we follow the Ho'oponopono, and it can help us to grow spiritually. Honestly, when I was looking at this principle, although the name is not found in the Bible, of course, no Ho'oponopono in the Bible as far as I know, but the principle looks to me like a very Christian principle. And of course, I'm sure most general big religions too have the same principle of forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that we all need. The central theme of the faith I practice, Christianity, is forgiveness. Jesus went to the cross just to get us forgiven from our sins. So that's the central theme of everything. That's the most important thing. So Ho'oponopono 2 is about forgiveness. And the two golden rules is love God, love yourself. Love God, love yourself. So it's important for us to follow these two golden rules. It's all about forgiveness. You can't love people when you don't forgive them. So it's important for us to follow the principles of Ho'oponopono from Hawaii. Other things that we talked about Ho'oponopono, there's a book on it by Ulrich G. Dupree about Ho'oponopono. Some of the things she talked about is ancestral traumas, systemic conflict, deep-seated emotional wounds. So Ringo's story might look so simple, just talking about toasting of bread and, co-workers and all of that. But, at times we have deep-seated emotional wounds, that are very painful. Personally, I've experienced a lot of emotional wounds. Like I told us my story again and again. The loss of my parents very early in life, and some of the stories I had after losing them, of the role some people played in their lives, some of the things I saw with my own eyes, and some of the experiences I had after I lost both of them, But again, Ho'oponopono, forgive and let go. There's this common saying that not forgiving people is like drinking poison and expecting it to hurt somebody else. And the way I look at it is so simple, Some people you don't forgive, they might not even know they've wronged. Or even if they know they've wronged you, they don't care. So why hold grudges on or what people don't care about? I know it's not as simple as that, but at times it just goes to simplify these things to get some perspectives, or to make it easy for you to do the right thing you're supposed to do. So in conclusion, a path to peace and fulfillment. Ho'oponopono is about forgiveness. Remember the 4 phrases. I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you, thank you. It's like, remember Barney's story I told us for kids, like please and thank you are 2 magic words, which is also part of Ho'oponopono. Please forgive me is part of it. Thank you is part of it. I love you is part of it. We all know I love you is the magic word. We don't know if people really mean it when they say it now, but it's a powerful word irrespective, whether they mean it or not. Though I think meaning it is more powerful. It's more powerful when people mean it. And please forgive me. So those are things. Ho'oponopono is something I would like you to learn about. Like I said, it's a practice. And finally, I tell you where I got it from. I got it from a chapter in this book, Alcohol Lied to Me. So the author, Craig Beck, talked about Ho'oponopono, I think in chapter 13, I think, about Ho'oponopono. He said personally it's one of the things that has helped him to also overcome alcohol, which he dealt with in his life. And I told you the good story was started with alcohol last month, and now we're talking about Ho'oponopono. So there's a connection between alcohol and Ho'oponopono. So who knows, if you are struggling with alcohol, maybe Ho'oponopono might be able to help you. So I'll encourage us all to embrace Ho'oponopono in our practices, and I believe we are all going to succeed greatly in life in Jesus' name. I love you. I mean it. Remember to like my video, share it with people that will need it, and use the principles of Ho'oponopono. And somebody's story, somebody I respect a lot, I listen to her about every week. I'll just bring in her story shortly. Her name is Joyce Meyer. I've been listening to her before I left Nigeria, like maybe about 15 years now. I remember she used to send a magazine to me way back before we left Nigeria, a monthly magazine, Enjoying Everyday Life. So Joyce Meyer is someone who experienced a lot of sexual trauma growing up by a biological father. But it's intriguing to me how eventually she just had to forgive, and in the old age of the father, she took care of him. And because of that, the father was able to receive Jesus Christ towards the end of his life and felt sorry for what he did. It's tough and rough. And, like Joyce Meyer have said in most of the things, I listen to her teaching like that every week. Like, it was difficult for her going through all of that hurt as a child, but eventually looking back now, I think she's almost 80 or about 80 years old now. She said she wouldn't choose otherwise now, looking back, because that story has helped her to be who she is today, a very successful televangelist all over the world doing great things because of the story she had growing up. So the point is, we can forgive. It doesn't matter the hurt. I don't know. I don't know your trauma. I don't know how difficult it is for you to forgive people who have offended you. But I keep saying, I don't know. But what I do know is we can forgive, and we can use the whole Ho'oponopono principle of forgiveness. Read about it and use it.